Hello, you guys. How are you all? Thank you guys for being here. Happy Saturday. I hope it's nice where you're at. The storms, man, they keep getting in the way of my streaming. And yesterday I was gonna come on, but we had went to this festival. But let me tell you guys, it has been hot. It has been so nice. Um, been laying out and getting a tan and you know, all the good things. Oh, the lollipop. Oh my, I've got a live coming soon on my second channel responding to rude comments. And I'm going to drop the link right now. If you're not subscribed, make sure to subscribe because I'm going to be talking about some other things too. I think you guys will enjoy. But happy Saturday. We have some things to talk about. So I want to talk to you guys about where are we at as far as the manhunt goes with Travis Decker. I want to show you some things that have came out. The local news have done some FOIA requests and gotten some history on their court proceedings, and I want to go through some of that stuff. I want to show you a video of the girls. It is my understanding that the mom wants them to be remembered for their playful, energetic, fun little selves. And I want to show the video to you that Tess actually sent me. And it was talking about, this is how mom wants them to be remembered. I want to show you a bunch of stuff. So I think we're going to start with, let me just pull up this GoFundMe. I have dropped it in the chat and pinned it at the top. If anybody wants to help, I think it has reached the limit. It's pretty crazy because when I refreshed where I had it open on the computer the other night, it was at 990,000 and now it's at 1,150,000. They're almost at their goal. So this fundraiser is to support Whitney with the expenses and legal costs following the tragic loss of her three daughters, Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia. On May 30th, the girls were reported missing after a scheduled visitation with their father. We are heartbroken to share that the girls have since passed. Their light touched so many, and the pain of this loss is unmeasurable. I've known Whitney for years. We're both dance moms and theater friends. We originally met through Short Shakespeareans, where I served as the music director and had the privilege of teaching Whitney's girls over the past few years. We've spent this year as dance moms together with my daughter Maisie and Whitney's daughter Evelyn, both performing on the Fabulous Feet Dance Rockstars team. Funds will go directly to Whitney to help cover final expenses, support time off from work, and give her space to heal without financial pressure. I want to clarify this is the only official GoFundMe approved by Whitney and created with her full knowledge. And I support this GoFundMe. I can't imagine somebody trying to go back to work after something like this. I really can't, even if you're not a mom, I think if you're a pet mom, anything, if you know kids and know moms, and imagine losing all of your children at once like this. I just cannot imagine. I don't know. My heart goes out to her and all the family. So I want to show you guys before we get into this. What the heck is going on with my phone? I want to show you guys before getting into this. Well, let's see. Let's look at the latest. First, I'm going to show you this that just came out. This is some new information that I thought was pretty interesting. Then I'll show you the video of the girls. Then we'll get into some of the court history. So Washington Travis Decker searched how to move to Canada days before the murders. Authorities are investigating whether Travis, wanted in connection with a triple homicide, may be attempting to flee to Canada based on recent Google searches found on his account. Hey, everybody. I'm seeing all you guys in the chat and reading, and I just appreciate you guys being here. And at the end, we'll chat for a few before it ends. So it says, what we know, a deputy U.S. Marshal with the Pacific Northwest Violent Offender Task Force revealed in a U.S. Marshal Service affidavit that Decker's Google account included searches such as how does a person move to Canada, how to relocate to Canada, and Jobs Canada. Now, Jobs Canada makes me think this may have been previous to him knowing what he was going to do, because obviously you would know you couldn't really get a job when you're on the run and wanted like this. It says Decker's children were found dead on U.S. Forest Service land near Leavenworth on June 2nd. His vehicle was found at the scene, but Decker remains at large. And I've got a couple of videos up on this already. We've went through this video footage that came out just after this happened, but it actually took place a couple days before, where he's ringing a ring doorbell. And yeah, here's a picture of him, the picture that they're sharing, and a couple others. If you live in the area, even if you're, not super close, make sure you are aware. Lock your doors, lock your sheds. This is scary. This person has nothing to lose. And if you're going to take the lives of your innocent children, you really would probably hurt anybody. He was an Army Ranger. He has what we read to be elite training in surviving outdoors and stuff like that. So, I personally think a lot of people think he was going to take his own life. But for me, the fact that they found a campsite near the girls makes me wonder, is he going to try to survive outside? So before we get into all the history I want to show you guys, which is super interesting, I want to share with you the video that, like I said, it's only a minute long, was shared, and it said, "This is how Whitney wants her girls remembered." I know I have a short video that went up yesterday where Whitney her attorney had spoken to the local news, and she said, Whitney wants to focus on making sure that veterans have the care they need. He was begging for help from not only the VA hospital, but a veterans crisis line. Okay. And number two, her biggest concern right now is when the girls went missing, they wouldn't put out an Amber Alert because they didn't believe that they were in imminent danger. Even though he had a history of mental health, even though he didn't bring him back on time, whatever. And so they put out an endangered missing persons alert. Those alerts don't go out on the cell phones. So the fact that she's even focusing on that and trying to make things better for other people for the future so this doesn't happen again tells you what kind of person she is. It just breaks my heart. All of it is absolutely heartbreaking. He is very dangerous, ASB says. I said he is already in Canada. He can cross the border in the woods. Hey, Cray Cray. I think if he gets into Canada, then no death penalty. Amber alerts should have no boundaries. And if you won't do an Amber Alert, then you know what? The other alerts should go out on cell phones too. It's absolutely ridiculous. But all right, here we go. Oh, me too, Neat. I am so impressed with the grace that Mama shows through that pain. I cannot imagine. Me either. Like I said, to even be concerned of this happening to another veteran or other kids that might go missing. I mean, I don't know if I could be that strong and that brave. Hey, Titanium Bill. Hey, everyone listening in while I walk on the treadmill. I made a live. Hey, Guilty of Crime. One of you guys right after each other. Does Canada have no extradition? I'm not actually sure. Let me. The internet cut out for a second, but let me just look that up really quick and then let's watch this. Canada have. I'm pretty sure they do, but with things right now the way they are, I mean, who knows? Let's see. Canada has extradition treaties with more than 30 countries. Okay. There are some where there are no formal extradition treaties. I believe that they would probably, work things out. But okay, here is the video.
Okay. Decker. Nice.
You can't stop halfway, Abby.
There we go, Abby. Nice. Olivia. Okay, bringing it down. Bringing it up.
No, put it back.
Bringing it down. Abby, can you check to make sure I'm doing the video right? Okay. Oh, okay. Abby's next.
I like feel bad.
Rachel, can you make sure the video's on, please?
I broke my butt.
You check.
You're on.
Yes. Boom.
Okay, no, but you were really close.
Look at her. Oh, they're so cute. But
Okay, go.
just absolutely innocent. And you know, the first thing I noticed watching this was the shirt, Kindness Crew. And it's like, you know, I, as a mom of young kids, I know that a lot of parents are not teaching that to their kids. They're just not. And that's a really big thing for me too, because I teach it to my kids and I find it to be like extremely important, you know, to teach kids how to treat other kids, to teach kids how to treat a kid that might be sitting alone at lunch or whatever. So it is so sad. Ooh, makes me, my eyes water. I know it makes the emotions for you guys. Even if he snapped and lost it, why go on the run? Turn your damn self in. I think you were going to say, well, I think he believes, because it's all guilty of crime. He said, I think he's alive and running. That's where I'm at. And Tony says, I think he's still alive and possibly has help. Now, I don't know about that. I feel like they they have his Google account. They're looking very closely at anyone he would have communicated with. So if so, you know, they should be watching over their shoulder. But I definitely think that he's alive and on the run, and I think he's going to try to survive. So, okay, now I want to show you this before we get into the history. We'll look at the newer stuff that's come out before I show you the court, like this, their court, the history of them in court. Okay, so police called to collision involving triple murder suspect Travis Decker 2 days before kidnapping. You know, it's not uncommon when somebody is having a mental health break. It's not uncommon for them to have car accidents and run into police from being pulled over on the side of the road for whatever. I mean, a million reasons out there. You couldn't even think of everything that they may come up with for their reason why. But I thought this was interesting. So, documents newly obtained by KIRO7 show an officer with the Wenatchee Police Department responded to a crash at the intersection of Miller Street and 5th Street on Wednesday, May 28th. According to the sheriff's office, a ping from Decker's phone on Thursday showed that Decker was at the campsite where his children were killed. Now, I had told you guys this before. It appears that he went to that area before he went to pick up the girls. And so he was kind of maybe planning the way it appears. On Monday, deputies found their bodies. Police said it appeared they died from asphyxiation. His truck was there, his wallet inside. According to the police department, on that Wednesday morning, the non-injury collision happened when Decker in his GMC was stopped at a red light behind another car. When the light turned green, both vehicles began to move. The car then slowed for traffic and Decker rear-ended the car. Police noted there was damage to the front of Decker's truck and rear-end damage to the car. When Decker was interviewed, police say he admitted to not having car insurance, which is interesting. The officer cited Decker $196 for following too closely and $559 for operating his truck without insurance. I'm surprised they didn't tow the truck. Imagine how things might have been different. I mean, not that he wouldn't have gotten it right out, but that kind of surprises me. Aw, girls, Nana, thank you for being a member for 19 months. Late watching the granddaughters in the pool. I've been doing the same thing. Little different, but same thing. Oh my gosh, 7 Lilies, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. And welcome to the members. And we have a members only coming up in a couple days. I'm sorry that the last one got rescheduled and then canceled, but I promise to make it up to you guys. So thank you, 7 Lilies, and welcome. Oh, Natasha, thank you for being a member for 14 months, popping in to say hi and hit the like for Sweet Allie. Hope everyone's having a good weekend. Oh, guess what, you guys? This is going to redirect into another live. This might not be, they might not start, hey, raised in the Dune box of Boondocks. This might end before it starts, but Melissa Jade is back. She'll be live at 7:30 tonight. So this will redirect straight over there. If she's not getting ready to start, you can hit notify me. And when she starts, it'll give you a notification, or it should. Oh my gosh, Lori, thank you for being a member for 28 months. That is crazy. Thank you so much. Hey, Tika. Hey, Rhonda. The return of MJ. Yes. I know a lot of you guys asked the last time I was on, so I had to let you know. Okay. So now we're going to start with this one. So KIR07, again, the same local news, obtained documents detailing the divorce of Whitney and Travis and the custody of their kids, and they show a period of concern before police say Travis took their lives. So, quotes below were taken directly from court documents and have not been edited for clarity, punctuation, or grammar. Tess, thank you for being a member for 31 months. Love you back. And I love this community too. Thank you. I'm surprised they didn't arrest him too. Yeah. Okay. So on November 14th of 2022, I feel like I could put together a good timeline. If you guys don't know, on my Patreon for free, on the free tier, I have another timeline I did. Am I cutting out? No. Another timeline I did for the Stephen Stearns case. And it is so detailed. I used so many quotes from court documents, links, interactive B-crumbs where you can click the links in it and see the videos I'm referencing. I give every date mentioned on just everything. It's very detailed, and I feel like I could put together a good timeline of this in the same way. And I know B-crumbs, you were wanting to do, like, that could only be helpful for anything you would want to do with all the information. But let's go back to this. So November 14th, 2022, a petition of divorce was filed by Whitney. Within the document, she noted that no protection order or restraining order was needed. A parenting plan was also filed where Whitney noted there were no concerns of abandonment, neglect, child abuse, domestic violence, or sex offense. Neither parent had an issue with neglect, emotional or physical problems, substance abuse, lack of emotional ties, abuse, use of conflict, or withholding the child. 2 years later, in future court documents, these checkboxes were later changed. Sorry, my mic is kind of in the way. January 21st, 2023. Both Travis and Whitney completed Supporting Children Through Divorce program at the WSU extension of Chelan in Douglas County. March 7th, 2023, a findings and conclusions about a marriage document was filed. Nothing again that no protection order or restraining order was needed. On March 7th, 2023, a parenting plan was finalized. Again, noting no concerns. Travis was scheduled to have the girls every other weekend from Friday at 6 to Sunday at 6. A year later, according to court documents, Whitney's opinion on the mental health of her ex-husband appeared to have changed. Yeah, I think I will be, Crumbs. And I'm going to drop the Patreon link. So if you guys want that timeline, you can download it. It's on the free tier. And any other court documents we get, including the affidavit in this case, are all on the free tier as well. Oh my gosh. I'm annoyed because storm's coming in and it's messing with the internet. So bear with me. So on September 20th, 2024, like 9 months ago, a modification to the parental schedule was filed by Whitney's attorney. In the documents, Travis is listed as a transient and asking the court for a major change in the parenting schedule. Whitney says because of a substantial change in one parent's situation. The proposed modified parenting plan noted a change to Travis. Specifically, Whitney said that Travis neglected his parental duties towards a child and that Travis has a long-term emotional or physical problem that gets in the way of his ability to parent. It's crazy when you look at it against these documents that were filed, 2 years before, and there was nothing like this. but he was getting worse and begging for help. Again, I'm not going to stop saying that. I'll probably get on y'all's nerves. I don't care. This man he wanted help. He was asking for help. We hear, according to Mom's attorney, from both the VA and a Veterans Crisis Line. What the hell? I'm sorry, but our veterans have to be treated better. I don't think any of them should be homeless. I don't. And I believe in immigration, and I'm not getting political with anybody, but I feel like we should take care of our kids and our veterans before anybody else. Anybody. Anyone overseas, any immigrants, anybody. Why are we not putting the kids and the veterans first? The people who literally fight so we can continue to have all of the rights that we have and the freedoms that we have. And again, I'm not getting political. I don't want to do that at all. I'm just saying, regardless of what side of things you fall on, you should want to put the kids first and the veterans first on all sides. That's just how I feel. It's a shame. So Whitney requested Travis be evaluated for anger management and domestic violence with a full psychiatric evaluation by a licensed psychiatrist to include any potential diagnoses. She wanted the hearing within 30 days of the hearing. She also wanted Travis to enroll in individual counseling sessions with a licensed mental health counselor at least twice a month. She said if he didn't do these things, she would have no choice but to further limit visitation. In a declaration filed September 20th, 2024, she said, quote, "Since our separation, it has become increasingly clear that Travis has been struggling to maintain stability in his life. The lack of stability led to a negative impact on our children. She said they were deeply affected, which led to heightened emotional stress." This is sad. This is demonstrated through screaming, crying bouts at drop-off or when they get off of a call, she wrote. Imagine on these little girls what that would seem like, how scary. As parents, sometimes we got to get our shit together and look strong even when we're not. Not that if you have mental health issues, I don't know how you do that. If they're, sure it cut me out, if they're intense enough, but still, that is so sad. She noted that she said it's in the children's best interest to no longer go overnight until he's no longer homeless. Completely reasonable. She noted that Travis is able to attend events for our daughters. He is engaged and demonstrates a genuine love for them, which are meaningful and appreciated by our children, she says. Travis also has some emotional mental health issues that were the primary catalyst to the end of our marriage. His borderline personality disorder and narcissism became rampant. That's a quote. She explained that in October of 2022, he moved into the Armory in Wenatchee. A few months later, he was in an apartment. His lease was up and he went back into the Armory. Then he purchased an RV. And in May of 24, he moved to Idaho with his RV, but it was soon repossessed. I know Titanium Bill, he had these kids for hours and was homeless. I'm assuming, I know he took them on some camping trips, but I'm assuming at other times maybe out to do stuff. She says, quote, "There were times that I told him I didn't feel comfortable with the girls staying in the Armory with a bunch of strange men. He told me he was staying in the RV, but then I found out he was really at the Armory again." In June 2024, Whitney said she found out the girls were on mattresses at the Armory. Cannot blame her for any of how she felt, any of this. "He has had some outbursts where he has burst into my home against my objections and yelled for the girls," she wrote. She then details these incidents between Travis and the girls. So, August 30th, 2023. "Didn't want the girls this weekend, even though it was his weekend. Said the girls walk on eggshells because of how he reprimands the dogs." December 2023. Olivia FaceTimed me screaming, crying. Travis was nowhere in sight. Peyton had to go find him and he was with the dogs. Told me Peyton was unattended in the armory with Olivia playing on the leg pull-down machine and smashed Olivia's fingers. Wasn't comforting her. Olivia and Peyton were crying uncontrollably. Come to find out, they had been sleeping in the armory. July 2024. Hitchhiked to my house and asked to stay in the basement with the girls. 3 hours late. Said he could pick the girls up from the play, but he was hitchhiking, so the stranger would have had to pick them up. Listen, no. I would never, I'm sorry, my kids would not be staying in any place with strange humans. Men, women, I don't care. I would definitely be putting my foot down too. You can't trust people around your kids. If I've learned anything from the true crime news series I do, where we go through tons of random articles in one live, I've learned that preachers, coaches, teachers, anybody and everybody is capable of hurting your kids for real. And there are tons of accidents that happen too, so and in a car with a stranger from hitchhiking, oh hell no. So Whitney said that Travis just keeps getting more and more unstable. He has made huge sacrifices to serve our country and loves his girls very much, but he has got to get better for our girls. I do not want to keep Travis from the girls at all. Okay, then we have September 27, 2024. Whitney and Travis appeared in court to discuss the petition to amend the parental schedule. According to court minutes, Whitney's attorney told the court that Travis had the children sleep at the armory around dozens of other men, that Travis was homeless and living in his truck. The attorney asked the court to stop the overnight visits with the children until he had secured safe housing. Once Travis was under oath, he told the court there was no reason to change the order because he already didn't have enough time with his children. He said he was voluntarily no longer full-time active Army and has more time to spend with the kids. The court ordered there was cause to modify the plan. Now, that seems reasonable to me if you don't have a home, but I can see how that would just make Travis worse. He was already in a fragile state, and then you're taking everything away from him that means anything, which how can you not? It's not her fault. You have to protect the kids. I can just see how this spiraled and made him worse. So Whitney's attorney asked for Travis to receive a domestic violence evaluation and psychiatric assessment. The attorney also asked that Whitney be given the ability to limit visitation and that Travis should not be allowed alone with them. Court documents say he objected and that he liked to take the children camping on the weekends. He understood Whitney's concerns about his living situation. He said he had no objection to child support, but he was currently unable to pay anything. He said it was important for the children to understand how the world works and how they could learn from his current condition. But at the end of the day, I just got to say this, why wasn't there a program to help this homeless veteran with children get on his feet with psychiatric care and stuff? I mean, I'm sorry. But if anything is worth our tax dollars, it's like I said, it's that and our kids. Period. It's upsetting, man. Whatever. Let me keep going. So the court disagreed with Travis and agreed with Whitney and the proposed plan. It also found limiting factors of neglect and emotional physical problems against Travis. They ordered him to get anger management, a DV evaluation, and a domestic violence evaluation, and a psychiatric evaluation by a licensed psychiatrist. KIRO News has reached out to the county to ask about the progress of those evaluations. Travis now I told you guys this before, so he got him Friday for 3 hours, Saturday for 8 hours, Sunday from 9 to 6, or from 9 to 5, so 8 more hours. On Friday, May 30th, just before 10 p.m., the police department took a call from Whitney that said Travis had not returned the girls. And then, According to court documents regarding custodial interference, Whitney told police their divorce was civil, but after he lost his housing, things were modified. Listen to this. So the report says Whitney said Travis randomly leaving or waking her up by screaming in the middle of the night. This is moments of power and control he used. Randomly leaving or waking up. Can you imagine waking up to somebody screaming? She claims that's what was happening. She said she believes he does not currently take medication. And according to the documents, he refused to sign the parental modification form and did not seek the mental health DV or anger management counseling the court ordered. So that is the end of that one. And then I had something else I wanted to show you guys here. But let me talk to y'all for a moment. No history of violence. He has a right to visitation. I agree. I just wish that he would have gotten better help getting on his feet and psychiatric help that he obviously needed. And I don't know. She wanted visitation where he wasn't alone with him, you know? I have CPTSD and it's bad. If I didn't have meds, I may do that. I wish he could have gotten help. Me too. Me too. Yes, we should, girls Nana. What are you confused about, Katrina? Oh, Pointer Lover, I'm sorry. Why were children allowed to stay in the armory? Yeah, I'm not sure. Okay, so now let's take a look at this. Court records reveal custody issues for a man at the center of a national manhunt. So when I saved these, I felt like this one was a bit different. Let's see. Whitney Decker's attorney, so she had the same attorney then, because I remember her name was Cozart, asked the judge to temporarily take away Travis' overnight custody rights after expressing concern that changes in his life presented significant safety risk for the kids, including having them stay with him at a National Guard armory. And here's a quote from her attorney. The children were sleeping at the armory where there are obviously dozens of other men present, and the children were left at least once while Mr. Decker went to the Safeway. They are too little, and quite frankly, they shouldn't be staying in the armory anyway. Cozart also told the court Travis owed Whitney thousands of dollars in child support and was homeless, living out of his truck, motels, friends' homes. In response, Travis acknowledged his struggle with housing instability and described the challenges he faced. So here's a quote from him. That's why I saved this, because they were quoting from like the transcripts in the article. So Travis said, quote, "When I was separated from active duty, I tried to figure out how to live as a civilian. I didn't have family, friends, or any support, especially moving to a state where I had no one to lean on or even a couch to sleep on." That is sad, man. Travis also told the court in order to provide overnight shelter, he would often take his daughters camping. He said, "I don't believe that my weekends should be completely taken away since I have been gone. Every time I've had the girls, we have been in campsites in national forests and paid campsites that have campers. We've never done anything that was unsafe or anything I wouldn't want to put myself in." Homeless and vet should never be in the same sentence. That's right, Deb Lee. I believe that as well. Hey, Lil Red. Hey, Wolfie. Good to see you guys. We're going to chat at the end, but let me get through this and maybe I'll play this video. I've been gathering a lot of stuff along the way. Or no, I want to see what currently comes up too, because I've been waiting and trying to check. I mean, you never know. Any moment he could be apprehended. At the end of the almost 30-minute hearing, the judge granted Whitney's motion and temporarily amended the plan. However, Travis refused to sign any court documents. The judge told Travis signing the documents was up to him, but his order would be legally binding with or without his signature. He also refused to attend any evaluations or assessments. 7 months later, deputies found the bodies of his children at a campground 18 miles west of Leavenworth. It is horrific. Oh my gosh, it is. Oh no. Hold on, you guys. We've had a spill. We've had a spill. I know y'all probably heard all that too. It was Sprite and it was loud. Okay. I think we're good. 1 second. Okay. So there was help available to him. He just didn't go. Well, Callie, that wasn't so. Yes and no, I guess. That's a good point. So he was asked to do assessments, domestic violence and psychiatric assessments. But he had been, according to her attorney, which I pulled this up yesterday. It's a short video on my channel you can find. It's like 20 minutes long on the live column. Her attorney has spoken out with the local news, and she said that he was trying to get help from both the VA and Veterans Crisis Lines, and he wasn't getting any help. Maybe, yes, he is an Army Ranger, Leslie. Yes, ma'am. He was an Army Ranger. Hi, Tanya. Oh, I love you too, Wolfie, and I missed you too. Okay. Don't know what that was about, but I got you. Thanks. All right, so let's go over to Twitter and see if there's anything recent because, yeah, any second, I'm just kind of waiting. Me too. I'll make a playlist of the videos I've done so far up to this point. Oh my gosh, just look how precious. The two little ones remind me of Drew Barrymore when she was little and like E.T. Here's the section of Icicle Creek Road that's closed off in the search for Travis. Take note of the difficult and steep terrain, which will limit both Decker's movements and search efforts. This is interesting. All the campsites along this green route have been closed. So that's another thing. They've shut down several trails. And they're all over. I mean, this is a huge. I actually had an article pulled up for us to look at about the search efforts. But let's look at this. This is interesting. So let me read it just one more time so I can grasp it good. This is the section of Icicle Creek Road that's closed off. That was near where they were found. The terrain, I can't imagine. So if you're new here, you don't know. But back in the day, I went to where Summer Wells disappeared from. So I live in the Outer Banks now, but I used to live in southern West Virginia, and it was pretty close. And I'll never forget how looking at where she lived on film looked so different than in person. When you go in person, it was much steeper. And you imagine somebody trying to get through all these bushes and trees. And right now, this time of year, everything's blooming and it is hot outside, so that's going to make it difficult for him to be seen as well. I mean, he has trained for this for years and years and years. And this is the part of the country that the Unabomber hid in, right, for years, I think. Hey, Peekaboo. He's been known to live off the grid for 2.5 months before, according to our local news. You know what? I saw that. Let me see if I can find that. 1 second. We'll keep looking at the latest. I did see that somewhere, and I thought I saved it, but maybe I didn't. Okay, we'll go look at that in just a second, but let's see the latest. So over here to latest, because this is where I feel like, okay, the governor put this statement out. He said, tonight I am tapping emergency funds and ordering Washington National Guard resources to support the search for Travis Decker, who is suspected of killing his 3 daughters. At the request of the sheriff's office, we will be providing helicopter transportation.
Search for Travis Decker, who is suspected of killing his 3 daughters. At the request of the Chelan County Sheriff's Office, we will be providing helicopter transportation for law enforcement as they search in remote areas. And I do want you to take a good look here at Travis Decker. These photos circulating as folks are being asked to be on the lookout for him. Travis Decker has been on the run for about a week after investigators say he kidnapped his daughters in Wenatchee and killed them, leaving their bodies at a campground. Now, as you'd imagine, a mother is left mourning her daughters, and the mother's attorney, Ariana Kozart, joining us now live to talk.
Oh my gosh. Ariana Kozart went on here. Yay, we get to watch, because that's the attorney that's who said the stuff about the VA, the crisis line. That's who represented her in the custody hearings. Oh my gosh. Yay. Okay, let's see what she has to say. He does look different in every pic, and I'm gonna let y'all know now. Like storms are rolling in and the internet is iffy. So if it cuts out, I'll rewind if we miss something. It only cuts out for like 2 seconds at a time, but it's very annoying. And I apologize. All right, here we go. I can't believe this. I want to hear what she said.
Thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us. Obviously, a very emotional situation, so we appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And I can't even begin to imagine what Whitney Decker is going through right now as she just tries to process this. So can you tell me how Whitney is doing overall?
She's doing better than I think anyone could ever expect. She's an incredibly strong woman,
Don't forget, at the top of my chat, her GoFundMe is pinned. You guys can go check it out, read some of what I read it at the beginning, but what the person who organized the fundraiser had to say. There's some pictures and things like that.
mother, and
They do
her
have
love
drones
for
that
her children just
body
really,
heat.
I think the whole world can see it now. She is
I
surrounded
don't know if
by
they're-
friends and family. Her family has been incredibly supportive.
Oh
Our
my
community.
God. That was the most adorable picture. I want to see it again. Oh. Just don't get it, but I don't think we ever
incredibly
will.
supportive. Our community has been incredibly
Could
supportive.
be.
And Travis's family as well has been very supportive of her. I think at this time, she's just trying to grieve to the extent that she can. She's also assisting law enforcement with finding Travis or trying to find him. And she is already turning this into whatever positivity can come out of it with changes to our Amber Alert laws, as well as boosting resources for mental health for veterans. She's very
Now, remember, that's exactly what we just read. I read in the 20-minute video that was posted as a live because it was pre-recorded and put out through StreamYard. She wants to help change things for veterans and the resources that are available to them, and for the Amber Alert system. I'm sorry, but it maybe wouldn't have made a difference in this case, but what if it would have? And what if it would in another case? If I don't know, it's just, I don't see how they weren't. I don't see how they didn't see that they were in danger. I love the pictures too; they're so cute. Headphones, I'm so happy to see you. Anybody who came in late though and is interested, I did a video the other day, the 20-minute video I just referenced. It's full of good information, and the beginning of this too, because we went through the history of their custody hearings and what was said then and what was done. And it's very interesting and gives some background to what we're watching happen now, and kind of shows how things maybe got worse, in my opinion, because I do believe he was already struggling and he really didn't want to lose his time with the girls. He appeared to, at first, she had no complaints. She said he was a really good dad who loved them so much. And his circumstances caused him to lose a lot of time with them. And I think that had to play a role in how this spiraled out of control.
Very passionate about both of
So
those
sad.
things. And I think she's just holding up really well. One of the things that she has said
Oh, me
is
too,
when
Pika.
something like
It's
this happens,
Mhm.
it's almost like an out-of-body experience. You are standing still and the world is still spinning around you. And I think that is very insightful as to the
Aw.
grieving process.
And I did want to show these photos that were provided of her 3 young daughters there. What does Whitney want to
Look
make
at
sure that
them.
people out there know about her daughters, who they were, what they meant to her, and what they meant to so many other people?
I think Whitney wants people to know the true spirit of her daughters. They were little balls of light, I call them.
What an absolute, oh, what a loss. At the end, I'll play the video again of the girls that we watched at the beginning. That was, how she wanted her daughters to be remembered, or but I want to read this because Pika, I agree with you, and I'm so angry over this. She said, I respect the individual military personnel, but the military as a whole and how they treat veterans, I have many issues with the system as a whole. I'm right there with you. It is absolute bullshit. I said earlier, if we're not protecting our kids and our veterans, then what are we doing? That should come before anybody, right? And then people maybe with disabilities and people who, I don't know, are vulnerable. But it is absolute bullshit. It's bullshit how many veterans are homeless. How many are obviously get a lot of the mental health issues that they might have are from their time in the service and what they experienced and what they saw. And then we don't even treat them for that, or if you do, it's half-ass. And there's always complaints. The VA hospital is known for being terrible. Now, don't get me wrong. I know there are some that are better, but I have family that goes to the VA hospital that talks about how terrible it is. I mean, it's just, it's a freaking problem. I think, at the end of the month, either because we just did one and I want to start doing one like every month. We just did the fundraiser like a couple days ago for Convey of Hope, which helps feed kids school lunches. And we raised several $100s for that. The first 2 we did here were so successful. We raised almost $5,000. But I think the next one we do should be for veterans because, I don't know. It's something that I don't want to stop talking about it. Like I said earlier, you're going to get sick of me saying it, but I'm not going to stop. Like, I'm just going to keep reiterating that something has to change. For real. Let me let it
They
play.
were full of kindness and positivity and love, even for their father.
Deco.
We are so incredibly blessed to have had them in the world. And I hope that people can just honor their memory by giving her and her family grace right now through this difficult time.
What message does Whitney want to get out there? We mentioned the Amber Alert. You were talking a little bit about.
I wonder if they'll give a message to Travis. Like, would he hear it anyways? Maybe not if he's on the run, but I'm curious if there's anything she could say that might get to him, that might like just hit him in the gut or in an emotional way that might make him think about what he's doing or
that. So what message does she want folks out there to have?
There's systematic changes that need to be made in Washington State regarding the Amber Alert. The parameters of the laws and of the system didn't allow law enforcement to issue the Amber Alert because there was no obvious danger or something along those lines. And Whitney has some great ideas already about how to prevent that in the future when you have a parent who has
Wow. So, for those of you guys who didn't watch that 20-minute video, I talked about this. This is what her attorney said to the local news, basically the same thing. And it's crazy to think that she's that unselfish, that her concerns is helping other people from not going, like trying to keep this from happening again, trying to change the system, the things that broke and failed her family, her babies, all of her babies too. Like, God, losing one, oh my, I can't imagine. And you lose all of them.
As the mental health struggles that are documented with the court, whose time and visitation is limited already by the court, and then they don't show up. And in this case, Travis Decker turned off his phone, which was something that he had never done before. And the police could not locate him immediately because of that. Then,
With the history that we just talked about, how are they not in danger? His phone turns off. He doesn't bring them back. They can't find him. And Pika, I just want to say I am so sorry that you had to go through that. And that is bullshit. It truly is. I'm going to read your comment out loud just because of, out of respect for you, but I am so sorry. Raised in the Boondock says, unfortunately, at this point, I don't think there's nothing that could or would change this man's mind. He has already done the most horrific thing in the world. That's true. That is true.
and
True.
the Amber Alert should have been able to be issued immediately. And
Yeah.
if that had occurred, it is a possibility, although we do not know yet,
Chris?
that those little girls would still be alive. As far as the mental health resources for veterans, Whitney had the strength to help Travis or try to help Travis through his mental health issues as a combat veteran. And she saw firsthand the struggles that are involved for veterans trying to get help. Even when they seek it, it's impossible to get it here in Wenatchee and here in Washington, really across our nation. We are doing such a disservice to our veterans as far as
we
providing
are.
them with resources, especially with mental health. And so that's a big passion of hers. It was prior to this tragedy, but now, excuse me, more than ever, as she thinks about her babies, that will always be in the forefront of her mind.
How does she feel? How do you feel about just all of the support that's come from not just that local area, but all over the country? How does that feel to you and, of course, to Whitney?
It's unbelievable. It's awesome.
I can't believe we found this interview. I really can't. I'm just happy to be able to hear from them. Hey, Pass, good to see you. Hey, Combat Vet. I wanted to read Tess's comment. Tess said, oh, where did it go? As I said the other day, my dad is 81 and now 50 years after Vietnam is finally getting treatment for Agent Orange, which is something that he was exposed to way back then. It's so wrong. Yes, it is. I'm not sure they'll find him alive. Deco, a lot of people have said that, but just the fact that he had this campsite nearby and didn't take his life then makes me think that maybe he's going to try to survive outside, and maybe he'll try to make it past the border, or I don't know.
I just don't even know how to describe it. I know that she feels everyone's love and prayers and support and their grief, as well as her own. And as do we here in Washington, in the Wenatchee community. I think that we all feel the love that the world really has shown Whitney and for these girls. And I think that she is just in shock and in awe of the community support, the support that we've received from strangers, in addition to, of course, the many, many people in our community that knew these girls because they were very active little girls. They did theater, they did dance, they did sports. So they were loved by many.
We've heard from the sheriff's office. The sheriff himself has urged Travis to turn himself in. He said several times, if you're watching, turn yourself in right away. Is there
Well,
any
he's watching,
message
though.
that Whitney
Oh,
does
here we
want to get
go. I
out to
wondered.
Travis if he is watching?
Oh my gosh.
Whitney has not given me a specific statement for Travis, although I know she just wants him to turn himself in. She wants him to come back, I would say, to humanity. He's clearly lost. No one but a monster could do this. I don't think there's any argument about that. And
I wondered if they'd give a statement directly to him. That's interesting that she didn't. Maybe they didn't expect they would ask that. But you have to remember, this attorney is the same attorney that represented her again through all the custody stuff we read over earlier. So she has seen the progression of this. Julie says, our son died waiting on the VA and track here was less than helpful. I am so sorry, Julie, with no E. That is bullshit. I'm so sorry for your loss.
she just wants him to come back. She needs peace, and this investigation needs to be able to be wrapped up so that she can have that peace, and really our community, our state, and our country can have some peace here.
Thank you, Guilty of Crime, and I'm glad that you're covering it too. And yeah, thank you for being here.
Ariana, thank you so
Okay.
much for taking the
now,
time to join
let's
us
see.
and to share.
We're gonna wrap it up pretty soon, but I want to look at just a few more things from the latest news and then definitely want to show you that video. And I found one other article I think we should look at quickly. I don't know what's in it. I was trying to find what Katrina was talking about from their local news. But let's see. Calls grow for Amber Alert reform and veteran mental health support. Hell yes. And I don't think we should stop talking about it. I'm not going to. I have other things I want to cover this week, but I'm going to keep talking about this. And I don't care who's interested. I don't care. Listen, whether there's a ton of people here or not a lot, I don't care. It's not going to stop until something changes. I think that we should all be talking about it. Honestly, I think if you live in the area, share his photos, remind your friends and family, lock their doors, lock their outdoor buildings, share what he looked like, with clean cut, also with the longer hair. And talk about if anything, any of us can do this. Start the conversation about veterans resources and how they're treated in this country. Start the conversation about the Amber Alert. We have to. It's just, we owe it to these girls and their mom and any person, man or woman, who decides to serve our country. Whew. Sorry, it's just fucking hard to talk about sometimes, some of this stuff. National Guard activated in the search for him. Crazy when we know that he was part of the Guard. He looks so different here, clean cut. That's why I say share all the photos. Okay, so let's go to here. It says challenges to tracking Travis Decker. And even here, he looks so different. One of you guys said earlier, every photo they share of him, he truly does look so different. Thank you, Deco. I'm glad that you're here, and thank you. The Hagerman family. Who is that, Jenny? I don't know about them. Thank you, Pointer Lover, for sharing my second channel. I'm definitely going to be on the second channel soon. I have a lot of things I want to talk about. Yes, Deb, that's awesome, because he might be going to Canada. Show close up of the tattoos. I noticed his tattoos. They look so, where was I at just now? They are so unique. Here, oh, the local news is down at the search site over on Facebook. We're going to go look at that as we end, but let's look at this really quick, and I'll show you the tattoos as soon as we come to a picture that shows them better. So it says Decker is known to be an outdoorsman. It's challenges, in the search for Travis. adding complexity to the search efforts. He has a background in outdoor survival with reports suggesting he could live off-grid for extended periods. He is well versed in outdoor survival. In talking with his father, it sounds at times he would go out and be living off grid for up to 2 months. Is this what you were talking about, Katrina? Hey, Bushi. William Hunsaker, the director of operations at Sigma 3 Survival School, highlighted the challenges faced by authorities. He noticed, we're getting more confirmation he may have gone to survival skill. He explained that Washington's terrain complicates tracking efforts, forested areas, soft areas that are mushy and stuff. Tracks tend to disappear and stuff like that. He referred to 2 major challenges in wooded areas as heaven and earth, which are water and terrain. According to Hunsaker, tracking is detective work that involves piecing together clues to profile Decker's movements. You have to take all these clues, all these little details, and put them together, and you're basically compiling a profile of the individual you're after. Training could also play a critical role in his ability to evade capture. If they're highly trained, who trained them? He asked, noting that trained individuals can support themselves and think clearly when on the run. The urgency in finding Decker is high, as even untrained individuals are difficult to track. If they are 2 or 3 days ahead of you, that could make it quite difficult, he emphasized. He said, there's a possibility of him leaving no trail if he uses natural elements like rivers. If he's an avid outdoorsman and he knows how to jump on one of those rivers or anything out there that moves quickly, you won't have a trail. Regarding his potential travel distance, he stated, in good condition, I can travel 12 miles in 3 hours. If he's not weighed down and in decent shape, he can maybe cover twice that. 12 miles in 3 hours. So if he's in good shape, 24. Like, what? That's crazy. But you know what? If you jump on something in the river or I don't know. And this is the time of year that makes it even worse. Like I said, everything's, blooming and there's green on all the trees and the water is not going to be frozen. And so that's the end of that. Then let's come over here. Looks like this is these are the people who got all the transcripts we talked about today. They followed up, the local news that has gotten all the information, obtained the documents on their custody case and their parenting plan and all that stuff. Yeah, lots of berries and woodland creatures to feed off of. You're absolutely right. He's going to be very hard to find. The terrain is brutal and he's well versed in wilderness. Oh, Pika. Straight through the like button, please and thank you. Thank you for being a member for 1 month. And thank you for being here. It may be a while before they find him. Does anybody know, is this the place? Isn't this like around the area where the Unabomber like hid for forever? Like I think hey Jamie, I'm happy to see you. I think that like the forest and the woods are so different on the West Coast. Like I've never been out there. But on the East Coast, I know that the bears and the deer are much smaller. The trees are way smaller. We don't have anything like what can be over there. So I can only imagine the mountains are smaller, even though they're not small in places. Like where I used to live in West Virginia, there's some big mountains, but it ain't nothing compared to out west. It's possible to never be found. Yeah, you're right, Deb. He will know how to forage, so he won't have to go in public, even for food. It's crazy. Trees are huge here. I would love to see it. I would, but okay, so let's see what she has to say. Looks like she's out there where they're searching.
Griffin with Cairo 7 again. This closure out on Icicle Road looks like. We know the enchantments are shut down so that police can search this whole area for Travis Decker. Today is day 8 of that search. But I wanted to show you what this looks like. This is as far as you can go out on Icicle Road. They have the road closed signs. You can see all of the vast mountains in the background. They even
Not sure
have
for
this
Linda.
wanted poster here. It says caution, armed and flight risk. It talks about the $20,000 reward. It shows some of his pictures. And then once you get out to this other poster right here, this gives you all of the trails that are shut down. We have all of these posted up on our website as well. You can see all of that information there. But this is a vast area. The Enchantments is a very large part of the Cascade border out here. So we do know, again, Icicle Road is closed. You really can't get that far into it while they're doing this search, but you can see just how vast where their searching is. And this is just the very front that we can see. So day 8 of the search, looking for Travis Decker. We're going to keep being out here. We're going to be live at 4 and 7 o'clock today, staying on this search. But I did just kind of want to show you what that.
So they're live right now, but you can look in behind. I'm glad they've closed down the roads. I just hope that everybody in the area is informed, well informed of what's going on. So I'm going to end it with this. We're going to go back to, Tess maybe can remember exactly the quote that was shared with this video, and it was something in regards to, this is how Whitney wants the girls to be remembered. Hey, Naomi B. So I think that we should end with that. Even though I showed you at the beginning some of it, it's a minute long, and just a little video of them playing before school. So let me come back to TikTok. I'm going to rewind it just a little bit.
Make room for it. Okay. Decker. Nice.
You can't stop halfway, Abby.
There we go, Abby. Nice. Olivia. Okay, bringing it down. Oh, bringing it up. Bringing it down. Abby, can you check to make sure I'm doing the video right? Okay. Oh, okay. Abby is next.
I like feel that.
Peyton, can you make sure the video's on, please? You check.
You're not on it.
Correct. Can you make sure?
Yeah, it is. Wait.
Yes. Whoa.
Kind of, but you were really close. It's supposed to be right there.
Okay. Go.
It's uneven.
Nice. Abby. Little feet. Nice. Olivia.
Olivia.
Come on, Olivia.
You got it. Oh, don't pull the chair. That's cheat. Oh.
Let's see if I can. Olivia, move.
I did it. I was curious who that was talking. I don't know, but that was just precious. Sad, you guys. Very, very sad. Unfortunately, this is real. This is real life. This is the world we live in. This is what's happening in our world. This is what happens when veterans don't have, the resources they need, and Amber Alert systems and all of that. It's all a problem that needs to be talked about. As hard as this stuff can be to talk about, what happens if we don't talk about it? Then what? Then nothing changes at all. And people are just living in a world like completely unaware. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to live like that. So I'm never going to stop talking about the things that I feel are important like this to talk about. So I'll be following this every step of the way. Peyton, Evelyn, Olivia. It's sad. The little girls. Peyton was 9, Evelyn 8, Olivia was the baby. Evelyn was the one who won on the game they were playing just now. Peyton has the dark hair and Olivia's the baby. Just so people know who each person is. Let me just say a couple things before we go. Oh, MK, I didn't see this. Thank you for being a member 28 months. Oh, maybe I did see that because I read the comments. Kelly, guess what? You were asking about Melissa Jade. She's back tonight. And this live is going to redirect to her live. So definitely if you came in late, replay the beginning. There was a lot of good information we went through. The local news has done a hell of a job compiling everything that's happened. I'm going to make a timeline like I did with the Stearns case. So make sure to rewind and catch all of that. But this live will go right into Melissa Jade's. if she has not started yet, which she hasn't, I think it was at 7:30, you can just hit notify me. And as soon as it starts, YouTube will let you know. And then I wanted to read past. Thank you for being a member for 10 months. It's been a lot longer. Keep up the great work, Alex. Keeping you, and don't you ever change for anything or anyone. Real one, family, respect. Thank you, Past. And yes, it has been longer than 10 months, like at least double that. And I just appreciate you being here and supporting me and always giving me love and encouragement, and all you guys being here and listening to me. I don't even know why anybody, it's about the information. It's not about being here with me, but I still appreciate you being here. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good night. I'll see you soon. And I think that's it. Make sure you're subscribe to the second channel. Thank you, Quinn, because I have some plans that I want to do, some things I want to talk about. Hey, Punksy. You guys are awesome. Oh, thank you, Kelly. Toe Beans, thank you. And always happy to see you and glad that you're here. All right, you guys, good night. I hope you have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.